And with that send-off from Tennille Milligan, we are ready for the U15 Boys and Girls Final Advances round here at the 2018 Junior Gold Championships presented by the Brands of Ebonite International. We are at Forum Bowling Lanes in Grand Prairie, Texas. My name is Aaron Smith with USBC Communications, and for this round, we have a special guest in the booth, PBA Tour champion. And if you're at opening ceremonies, you got to see him perform. Mr. Ronnie Russell is joining us. How are you doing today, Ronnie?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me here. I've been in the center all week, and really excited to see what these top 32 bowlers in each division have to bring to the table today.
Definitely going to be exciting. 5 more games to go. A brand new pattern. Once again, we were talking a little bit about what we were kind of seeing out there. Kind of what were your initial thoughts? This is the 6th different pattern these competitors have seen this week in a very, very short amount of time. Initial impressions from just what you saw here on our feature pairs behind 27 through 30.
I mean, first of all, we're on some HPL lanes here, which as a result hooks a little more. I believe if I had to guess what the pattern was, it'd be about 42 to 43 feet. Everyone's playing a little further right with a little bit of surface right now, so I really think we're going to see some really good scores this round.
We definitely saw some bigger scores on the boys' side, especially in the earlier advancers round. Had a few kids actually shoot 1,200 plus, or 1,200 for their 5-game block. So definitely some scores available here at Forum in the early going. But once again, new pattern. We'll see how they're playing.
My early thought on this is, wow, some of these kids throw it unbelievable.
And that was your impression of young Kirk Mowell there.
Yeah, his arm swing is so straight. I mean, I think it's pretty hard for him to throw a bad shot. I'm not sure if that's Brett's first name or last name, what that is, but what a reverie he has. And you have Bo Gorgon's son Isaac on the same pair, left-hander, really, really smooth. And on the girls' side, these girls they're piping straight up 4-5 right now, and just tons of talent here right in front of us right now. And down on 1 and 2, I believe we have all the leaders for the men's side, and we're right in front of the leaders for the women's side right now.
That is correct. They're essentially in the order that they finished with their 21 game pinfall total through 5 rounds. So for Isaac, Jake, and Kirk, they were the last 3 boys in for the U15. But we have our overall tournament leaders on the girls' side so far. Amanda Najokas, a past U12 Junior Gold champion and a member of the Junior Team USA developmental team, is the leader on the girls' side through 21 games.
So right now, the cut is a 203 average, 42.79. There's a good solid 13 players that are within 100 pins to make a run in these 5 games. Should be some pretty good excitement. On the women's side, it's at looks like 38.85. So there's quite a few girls that can still get there too. So anticipate with the higher scoring, someone making a big run and getting to the top already in the 16, and then someone maybe from the bottom jumping in there.
Now, if you're a player who's, say, in that kind of, 80 to 100 pins out, 5 games to go, what's kind of your mindset going into that?
I mean, you can't force the issue. I think you have to go out there and just go with the same game plan you have every time you step in the lanes, which is one shot. Don't get too ahead of yourself and just get up there and do it. Just kind of take the brain out of it and just go for it.
All right, with 3 and 4 on a pair, we're going to go pretty quick here, so we're going to do our best to have a little fun while we're on here, but also examine what's going on the lanes with these competitors. We have Kaylee Chanel over on lane 30. Her sister Ashley won the U15 Junior Gold in 2014 back in Buffalo. So now the family trend continues of strong bowling at this event. Ashley now in the U20 division, still competing. But here's Kaylee. We've seen Ashley around the centers as well, rooting on her sister. And Yeah, you can see some very similar traits in their game as well. Both, although we had the open frame, they're both extremely good spare shooters and really keep the ball in play, kind of control that 1-3. JL Hammond, actually talked to her 2 days ago. She finished 5th last year. So once again, being a strong performer. She kind of talked about playing to her strengths this week, though, so she's tried to stay further right. She likes playing the gutter, being out there. So we'll see how that pans out here in the early going.
Yeah, she looks pretty comfortable right now. I think I would just like to see her with maybe a touch more surface on her bowling ball. Her bowling ball is a little shiny. Get down the lane pretty fast right now. So I think if she's going to use that bowling ball, she's going to have to slow down a little bit, maybe slow her tempo down. She's having a hard time picking it up. It looks like Amanda's using quite a bit of surface. Her ball's picking up at the right spot.
And, Isaac throwing pins around like Ronnie Russell.
I think Bo's kind of wondering how he can't get those hits. His son's taking them all. Yeah, Bo said just like his old man. I hear it. I'm pretty sure if it was Bo, the 4 would have been laying in front of the 7. So.
Bo, of course, watching here all week. Keeping an eye on Isaac as he's kind of made his way throughout the cut. He was actually a little further back to start the last round, but had a nice block. Went 57 over to work his way into the top 48. And the players will be making moves after every game, so we'll get fresh competitors each and every game as we go through. Once again, 5 games. After this, we'll have 26 games in the books over the course of 5 days. Potentially 4 or 5 houses, depending on where folks hit, and 6 different patterns.
There's a good break down there in lane 25. It leaves a 3-10, hits the 10 pin, bounces it out, and gets a 3 pin.
Nice.
Sometimes you need a little luck in this game.
We've seen some pins fly here. We actually almost had a 7-10 conversion at the end of the last round on 27, I believe. Had the 7 pin bounce out and come flying across the deck, just didn't connect with the 10. So they're a little lively here.
So I'm starting to see the front of the lane go a little bit outside of 5, where a lot of the bowlers are. Some of them use a lot of surface right there. The idea is from there is to just parallel yourself in when the pattern's a little longer. So I'm interested to see if these kids are going to do that or if they're just going to take that big step left like they usually do.
The kids today, they like to make that step left.
Yes, as do I.
Now Kirk is, after that great shot there, his coach here, David O'Sullivan, a past Junior Team USA member, extremely talented player in his own right, sitting here helping Kirk along in his journey in hopes of making it to CBS Sports Network in a few days. Kirk and JL not wasting any time here.
I think that's the hard part about using a ball that's a little shinier. Her last shot was just really fit in there really well. It looked like she got that one left off her hand because she was scared it wasn't going to hook like the last one. So I think the move off this is just she's going to have to move a couple left and just get super soft with her speed on this left lane. Either that, she can actually go further right and just fire it at the 1-3. Either way, she's going to have to make a move on the left lane.
Another strike for Amanda on the right lane. It's connected on her last 2 deliveries. Now, when you bowl on this many different patterns, and obviously there's a ball limit here too, you think a lot of these players maybe kind of get trapped and potentially kind of getting comfortable with one ball. You know, you see it react well at 1 or 2 different houses. Is there a chance people get a little too comfortable out here with that and just kind of try to make something work instead of switching up? Or
I mean, even though they get 5 bowling balls, you still only have a couple bowling balls out of those 5 normally that you're 100% comfortable. You get a good read off of it. For instance, I bowl the U.S. Open every year. We get 8 bowling balls, and somehow through all 3 rounds, I end up using 2 balls, you know, and I never get to the other balls. But I think that's why you really see the kids who are more, no, I'm not going to say more talented, the kids who have been there before and can get it done, get to the top in this tournament because they can use different hand positions. They know a little bit how lane transition works, and they're not just relying on all the equipment to get them there. They're relying on themselves, and that's what's good about, you know, you got all these good talented boys down here, you know, in the 40s to the 48th right now. Every one of them throw it really good, but all of them probably lack a little bit of experience, and that's what this is going to be good for, because they're going to build on this to next year, and they'll be able to come out next year and really thrive. And I look forward to all 3 of these guys, and you can count it right now, all 3 of these guys next year will make the top 20 in this tournament.
Mark it down, folks. And once again, still plenty of time for them to make it up here to potentially with a super big block.
Yeah, I mean, if they can, you could definitely average 240 on this and make a run. I mean, Isaac has spare open 5-bagger. I mean, he can shoot 250 here, and it's a good start. I mean, and there's not really going to be much traffic on his side. So if he finds something, he can make a big run here and shoot 250 over and get in there.
Here's the 8th frame for Isaac.
He's looking
Another
really
one.
nice right now, yeah. He looks really calm and relaxed and just making shots. You know, I've been asked a million times this week, how do you deal with the nerves of getting out there and bowling and doing all that? Well, the fact is nerves are good. If you have nerves, it means you love what you're doing. So I think you just need to embrace it and just love the fact that you maybe are shaking a little bit when you're in the lanes. Like, it's awesome. And when you lose the nerves, then you start to question, you know, where you're at in the game. And I tell the kids, I told Bo Gorgon earlier when he was talking, this kid said he was really nervous, and so I asked him, I go, what's your house payment? You know, like, how much you pay for a water bill? There's nothing stopping these kids from going out and just having fun, bowling, and being competitive, and that's what this tournament is really all about. Just seeing where you're at in the game right now and being able to get better in the future.
Definitely some great words of wisdom there from Ronnie Russell, PBA Tour champion, joining us here on Bowl TV. And not only did you have the opportunity to interact with these kids, you know, in that sense as kind of a mentor, role model, but also got to have a little fun. I know here at Forum you guys had some beanbags set up, you had Jenga set up, and kind of more of a loose atmosphere, kind of easygoing time to have a little fun too in between blocks.
Yeah, Ebony International sponsored this event, and at a few of the bowling centers we had a thing called EBI chill spots, and we had some professionals that were able to be there and interact with the kids, and we had cornhole, Jenga. We had our little booth set up to show all of our new bowling balls, all of our new products. We had a charging station. You charge all your iPhones. It was such a great time, and I think the kids really enjoyed it. And I think we're going to even build on that going into the next year, from what I know. So I will say that I was finally beat once in cornhole. So I think I was 2022 for 2023. So that's a lot of wins, so I'll take it.
That's a pretty good run. I'll give you that.
I need to build on it for next year and maybe not lose, but
a little more practice.
I lost to two 12U kids and me and a dad. The dad acted like he was really good, and he just didn't perform.
Well,
but it's a team sport.
Team sport, absolutely.
So we lost, so it's all good.
All right, 10th frame underway here. Jake Brett and Kirk Mile, similar leaves here to kick off their final frames here of game one. Amanda Najokas has been on a roll, 5 in a row.
Yeah, it looks like she made that move on the left lane. Looks like she just bumped a couple left and just trusted it to get a little bit further right off her hand, and it's coming back every time. The right lane hasn't been a problem for it all, though.
Another good shot there. Just didn't get the 10 out. She's going to be in the 220s, though.
It's a great start. I love how calm these girls at the top look. They just look like they're out there going through the motions. And they look great. There's so many good arm swings. Now I did see something for the first time a few times this week. I've seen 2 or 3 girl two-handers.
I've seen that as well.
One of them threw it unbelievable. So I'm very curious to see how that works out in the next few years. And I know the other 2, they're close, but they need more time to develop and learn. But I'm really curious to see how this works out in the next few years. Because we haven't really had a competitive girl two-hander yet.
Not
that I know of.
Not to the ranks that we've seen. Certain definitely on the men's level. But I know that in the U15 and the U12 as well, there was a video of one actually on our Facebook page of Sport Bowling USBC. And Isaac just got that one.
Almost got lucky and knocked it out of there.
Got that one left, but yeah, good 3-pin there.
Still 240 though. Spares it.
Jake finishes with 182. Kirk 191. Kaylee 200 even. Amanda 221. And JL found a late 3-bagger. So with the spare, she'll be in the 190s.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. The Junior Team USA is determined based off this tournament.
This is one of the events.
One of the events, okay. Is there a separate paid entry fee to get into this, or for Team USA, or is it just if you make it, you make it?
It's if you make it, you make it.
That's awesome. So all these girls right here are really going for Team USA as well.
It's dependent on the age level.
Okay.
So for the U20s, based off of their 26-game qualifying, the top 4 age-eligible players, because some players can be technically too old to make Junior Team USA, but still bowl the event. So the top 4 age-eligible through qualifying earn automatic spots, and then the top 2 in the TV finals also earn spots. So we get 6 spots here, and if like say the tournament leader ends up making TV, then we would go to the next person in the standings for qualifying. For the U15s, however, we have a Junior Team USA developmental program.
Right.
So essentially an opportunity for some of these kids to kind of get to experience what being a part of Team USA is all about for the first time. So we saw Amanda wearing the jersey. She's a member of the team in 2018. So they only have 2 spots on the boys and the girls side for that. So the top overall qualifier gets an automatic spot, and then the winner of the CBS Sports Network's final gets the opportunity to go to camp and kind of experience all the same things that the Junior Team USA kids go. They usually get the Tournament of Americas as well, so a chance to compete and really see what they can do on the international landscape as well.
Yeah, that's just really awesome for these kids to be able to, it's almost 2 tournaments into one. They're focused on winning junior gold, but at the same time, they do well. Team USA is a big perk of bowling this tournament, and I wasn't sure how it exactly worked or anything. Obviously, I'm too old to have experienced this. But as being a part of Team USA a couple times, it's an environment I wish everyone could experience. Bowling for your country and just bowling for your team, and just experience needing a shot to win a medal. There's nothing that compares to that. I mean, I'm just really glad these kids get a chance to experience that.
One of my favorite junior gold moments over the few years that I've been able to work this was actually back in 2014 in Buffalo, and one of your fellow EBI staffers, Kyle Sherman, was, with the way it was working, I was putting some stuff away, but they were still announcing the team. Someone else was kind of covering that, so I was just kind of getting ready to pack up for the end of the trip, and so I was a little behind the scenes, and there's so many. It was a situation where they were still announcing the teams, and Kyle was sitting like a little further back, and when they announced him as part of the team, just the excitement, and no one else could see it, but he just, it wasn't a yell, it was anything but just a physical expression of just all this hard work paid off.
Right, yeah.
I'm a part of Junior Team USA, and it just gave me chills seeing it, because at that moment I could see, holy cow, this kid wanted that bad.
Yeah.
And that's a moment that still sticks with me. It's 4 years later now, and that's really what it's all about.
And I think it's that kind of attitude and determination that's going to make Kyle a great bowler on the PBA Tour. He already got selected for the PBA League, which is a pretty prestigious thing to be a part of. And obviously, you can see him grow right now. He's under the wing of, physically, Tommy Jones helps him. Rob Gottschall helps him. All the guys that need to help him are helping him. So he's going to. I expect the next few years to really be awesome for Kyle, and his physical game is already there. It's just about, getting there mentally and learning each time you go out down our lanes that you can be the best if you believe you're the best.
All right, as we have a quick break between games 1 and 2 as we wait for our competitors. For those of you who watched the live stream back on Sunday of our opening ceremony, you got to see Mr. Ronnie Russell perform on stage at the American Airlines Center alongside Marissa Thomas. And Ronnie, for you said you've had the opportunity to perform in front of some bigger crowds before, but just kind of talk about everything for that. I know you and Marissa really didn't have a lot of time to work on that. It was kind of a quick put together for you guys. So just talk about that experience, being able to kind of help these kids kick off this week.
Well, I think pretty much Marissa got asked to do it. I got asked to play guitar for her, and with my busy schedule and her being down in Louisville, we're 2.5, 3 hours away from each other, so we didn't get any time. And Jackie Carbonetto's kind of in charge of making sure everything runs smooth with it, and I'm pretty sure we were frying her out a little bit because we would not tell her what we were going to sing coming into this week. We knew what we were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time we got to practice is when we got here on Friday, and we practiced for 30 minutes, went through it, came back the next day, refreshed, went through it again for about another half hour, come in Sunday, get to the stadium about an hour before dress rehearsal. We went through it again for probably a good half hour. Go to dress rehearsal, did the first verse, did the chorus, got off stage, went and practiced a little bit more, came on stage, and I think we did really well. She seemed a little bit nervous at first, but I can really tell when we hit the chorus that her vocals just opened up, and she had a beautiful voice, and I think it sounded amazing in that stadium. And like I said, we couldn't hear all that well because the monitors were so far away from us, but from what I know and what the video shows, I think everything was pretty awesome, and I really hope we get to do it again next year, maybe a couple songs if we could fit it in. So it was just a really cool experience to walk into a huge arena with the whole lower level filled with kids and parents, and just be able to sing that Miranda Lambert song, which the reason why we chose it, and I kind of talked her into it, is it's about going back to the past and really seeing what you had and realizing that you can't go back and you wish you could. And I think the message to the kids was to don't try to get through this part of life too quick, because you're going to wish you hadn't. That's basically where it is. And we've been told by many parents how awesome it was, and they really got the message. And a lot of kids don't listen to country music, but I think they really enjoyed it.
It certainly was a special moment for all of us. That was actually my first opening ceremony, so I was pretty taken back by the whole just enormity of it all. The team march out, some of those kids doing backflips up there, dancing, having a good time. That was
it was. They
brought the energy.
It seriously is the coolest thing that happens in bowling every year. Last year was really cool. We were in like a little arena, probably seated a couple thousand. This year we're in a place that seats 25,000 people, 30,000 people, where the Dallas Mavericks play and the Dallas Stars, and to walk for these kids to be able to walk on a huge stage in front of a stadium full of people and do backflips and just what happens if they don't pull it off? What happens if they face plant?
That's true. That's risky.
They're now a meme, but these kids don't care. They went out, and it just shows in their abilities to bowl. They just go out and do it, and they don't think about it. But no, really, it's what EBI and the USBC has been able to do the last few years with the opening ceremonies is just unbelievable. I know Rogers put an unbelievable amount of time in it, and they did really well. And I, to be honest, it's going to be hard for them to top it next year.
That was a talking point among quite a few of us afterwards. It's like, what can we do next?
Where do we go from here? And I just think that Detroit is going to be a great environment. I mean, half the bowlers come from that side of the Mississippi River anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Junior Gold could be even bigger next year.
It's going to be up to that guy right there.
Hey, Mr. Chad Murphy right in front of us making his rounds. No, but I really look forward to my kids are actually, one of my kids are going to bowl next year, Junior Gold, and my little brother. They're looking to bowl for the first time. So I think they've seen what we experienced in that arena, and I think they wanted to be part of it.
And being able to spend the whole week here, you know, you really get the opportunity to kind of prepare them as well for just the experience of all. I mean, the hecticness of practice day, of kind of jumping around, trying to get a few shots in at every center and do that, and then obviously the trade show, everything going on there. It's crazy, it's packed, registration, opening ceremony, and then all of a sudden you have all this excitement, all this fun, and then you got to switch it to competition mode just like that.
Yeah, and you know, a big shout out goes out to the real MVPs of this tournament is the parents. All the money they spend, all the time they have in the bowling center, running their kids all around. I mean, this is one of the biggest cities in America, and they're just running these kids everywhere. But you know, before they start each round, the kids stand up and they applaud the parents. And I think that the parents really appreciate the kids doing that for them. And I can't imagine my mom and dad, if I'm 14 years old, having to run me somewhere every day, an hour away, to bowl competition, get home, rest, eat, go another hour away, competition, and then at the same time, you're still trying to figure out how to have fun, because it's almost a vacation for the parents,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids are they're just trying to have fun in bowl competition. So it's a blast. I mean, I haven't heard one complaint this week about the way it's worked, and just everyone has had fun. I got a ton of the kids in our hotel down at DoubleTree, by the training facility, and they're just all smiles all day long and just having a great time. So there we got some nice hair on 26. I'm curious to see what music he listens to.
You're talking about Dio. Here's a story for you. That young man right there, Dio Bernard.
Yeah.
He's making his Junior Gold debut this year. U15 division. And he bowled at Brunswick West Creek day one. Game one. 300.
Well, that's a way to start.
Definitely a way to make an impact right away. Had a nice first day from there. Finished off the day strong, and it's been pretty steady throughout. Currently sitting in sixth to start this round. A two-hander who attacks the lanes from the left side.
My question is, like, honestly, when he comes to the bowling center and he has his headphones on, what is he listening to? I've heard so many. I've asked kids, you know, what's your favorite singer? What's this? I have not known 3/4 of what they've said as far as music. So he looks kind of like a Metallica guy, I think.
I could see some Metallica. Definitely rocking a little. It's kind of the 80s heavy metal look almost.
It is. But I love his hair.
It would be fitting if he, had some Ronnie James Dio in that, and his first name's Dio. So that would be a fitting tribute.
He kind of has a Kenny G look, though. I mean, he might surprise us. Could be classical.
You never know.
You never know the kids.
We're going to have to find out after this block. All right, we've transitioned into game two on our girls feature pair. We have got a pin out there right now that Teresa Ross is going to help us with, but looks like we have Brooklyn Boudreau, Haley Trisky, and our defending champion, Jennifer Laredo, joining us on 29 and 30.
I think I'm going to go so far to go ask his parents what his favorite music is, because now I can't get off my mind.
All right, Ronnie's on the mission. All right, as we clear the dead wood on 29 and 30, we're starting on 27 and 28. Just a quick rundown from our round earlier today. We started with the top 96 boys and top 56 girls. After 16 games of qualifying over 4 days, they bowled 5 more games. Total pinfall for those 21 games determined the top 48 and a top 32 in the boys and girls divisions, respectively. So after this 5 games, we'll be down to the top 16 for match play. Ronnie is back. What's the word, Ronnie?
Well, he enjoyed the question. I think I made him a little bit nervous when I went up there. But he couldn't really boil down to one. So I told him to give me 2 in a few minutes when he thinks about it. But the genre of music is pop rock. So at least we got some guitars in there.
We got some guitars, yeah.
So he seemed like a really good, cool little kid when I talked to him. And his hair was very, there was a lot of volume in it when I was there. It was nice.
It's flowing going to the line.
Flowing. And so is he. His game is solid for being the first time.
Very smooth. He's got, you see it with a lot of kids today where it's kind of almost when you hear people talk about, prospects in basketball having like a big wingspan and just very, long limbs and being able to really kind of just be very fluid out there and just get to the line smooth and can deliver a lot of power as well.
Wow, Jason Simmons. That was unbelievable. I'm not sure of his exact age, but wow.
I think we have to call him Kid 300 though, according to the back of his back of his shirt.
When I first seen it, I thought it was Jason Kidd. I'm like, whoa.
I saw that when he was here during the last run. I thought that as well at first when I saw him. Like, man, what's Jason Kidd doing here? And then, oh, Kid 300.
Let's see where he's from. Bridgeport, Connecticut. That's where he's from. Now, that's an amazing thing. You look through here. A lot of these people came from so far away to bowl this tournament. We have Pearl City, Hawaii. We have a lot of Hawaii kids. I don't know how
they had a big group.
Yeah, which is awesome. And, I will say during open ceremonies when Texas came out, I didn't think it was going to end.
Oh, it took forever. There were so many kids.
It was at least 15 minutes.
It was nonstop.
It was awesome. Oh, we've got the Indiana kids in here. Let me see if I can give them a shout out. Ryan Spear from Beech Grove. Looks like we have one Indiana kid. We have Kyle Toyas from Waterloo. I don't know who that is. Just missed the cut. Oh, he missed by 2 pins.
Yeah.
That's rough. The one thing I will say in a brutal, honest way is I know a lot of these kids when they practice, they go out and practice strikes. If I can give one piece of advice to every one of them here bowling, is that spend half your time shooting spares. Develop your spare game because your strike game is going to be solid. Just shoot spares because that has cost so many kids so many pins this week. And I had to sit here and watch it the whole week, and it was hard to watch. But that's the brutal honest side. The good thing is every time I saw the kids struggle, as far as spare shooting, I did my best to go out there and talk to them about it and just try to give them as much advice as I can. Now, I couldn't get to everyone, but I tried my hardest. And I think, people lose grasp of spare shooting. Nowadays the scores are a little higher everywhere. Mm-hmm. Spare shooting is the difference between you can't strike every time, okay? So even if you have a 270 going, you miss that spare, it's 250. That's 20 pins. You can't give 20 pins up to the best bowlers in the world because you missed a single pin.
Russell, Gio said to tell you Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons. Imagine Dragons is the favorite.
There we go.
We got it. I think that was in our EBI chill spot. That song might have been, or that group might have been in our EBI chill spot the whole week, replaying over and over and over.
Oh, I can tell you for sure that song replayed over and over and over. They were the team march out at the Open Championships in Syracuse this year, so as a song.
That's why it's just burnt in my brain.
That will do that to you.
Wow, he throws it good. So if you had, solid 9 pin for Jason. That's rough. If you had to guess, and I don't know if you guys actually have stats to back it up, but if you had to guess, how many two-handers are in the field altogether? If you guys have had to take a guess.
Well, 3,800 kids. I'd have to say at least a quarter, probably. I mean, no numbers. This is just the eyeball test right now, and like, I mean, obviously, the guys' side versus the girls' side is going to be skew that number a lot. But
right.
On the guys' side, I mean, it's especially U15, U12. It's up there. It's probably even closer to 30-40% when you just look at those two divisions, I think.
Well, I'll tell you, like, my thought on the two-handers, and I know people are going to attack me for what I'm about to say, but I think that being two-handed isn't all about rev rate and speed. I think it's about the ball roll. If you watch Anthony Silas, he doesn't have any more rev rate than anybody on tour. Doesn't have any more speed than anybody on tour, but yet he is really good. He has a really good ball roll, two-handed, and I think that's the biggest thing with two-handers is their ball roll is very good. The zero tilt, it helps the ball, transition off dry and transition oil a lot better. So I think there's been a misconception about two-handed bowlers in the last 5 years as it's finally starting to really come into the sport full force. I think it's the ball roll. I don't think it's the ball speed and rev rate. I think it's the ball roll.
I think that's a very good point because I think a lot of the perception in the early going was just hook the lane, and you watch Anthony and he's really good playing up the lane, playing straight.
That's his A game. It's playing straight, right up 7 to 10, just as hard as he can. I need to talk to Jason about that spare. Okay. Might need to change his tilt a little bit or even throw a spare ball in that. But that's, as long as he learned from what he just did, I almost want to see him leave it again. I want to see what he does based off his last 3, 6, 9, 10 shot.
We'll get to see halfway point of game 2. Our girls are moving a little quicker here.
She does it really good.
There's a nice shot from Haley. Does not get the 10 pin out.
And I'm really sorry if we missed the names up there. I mean, obviously, we don't know a lot of the girls, but we try our best to read the names. And now, isn't Jennifer? I've seen her a few times. Did she win last year?
She is the defending U15 champion.
That's what I thought. I thought I'd seen her backstage.
Yep, she was. They also brought her and Solomon Salama on stage as they had like a little video kind of about their journey to the titles last year. And
she does amazing.
And Jennifer, one of those players you just really like watching because whether she's bowling well, whether she's bowling not, she just has one of those great personalities where she's out there, she's having fun, she's interacting with everyone, and whether it's 250 or 160 up there, you kind of get the same feel from her regardless. And she's just out there. It was super fun to talk to after she captured the win. And there she is, almost picking up the 3-7. Just slid it right in front there.
Are we going to get a standings each game, or how's it going to work?
I don't think we're going to get that online, so maybe if they print it out for us, depending on how quickly we get that. So we might be.
And if it doesn't work, I'm going to go down in that area and try to figure out what everybody shot and see if we can get some sort of number.
Haley gets the carry this time in frame number 8. Here's Nick Verano on lane 28, and looked like that one actually stuck a little bit on his hand, but strong family pedigree in the sport of bowling. His sister PWBA star Danielle McHugh.
Yeah, I think he has AJ Johnson back here trying to help him out all week, and it's the first time I've actually watched him bowl.
And there's Alex Horton. Was the runner-up in the inaugural U12 back in 2014, and now a TV star too. Part of the BowlerX.com commercial.
That's got to be a fun experience for him.
I know we had a few folks in the chat room asking for Alex a little bit earlier in the day, so hopefully they're still sticking around. We appreciate everyone for joining us here on Bowl TV for continued coverage of the final advancers round, and on to match play a little bit later tonight here at the Junior Gold Championships presented by the brands of Ebonite International.
Wow. I can sit here and watch this kid bowl all day.
He's impressive.
He is not afraid to get it to that cutter. I think he's one to watch out for in the future.
It's a great shot from Jennifer. Kicks the 7 late.
Let's see Alex out of the urethane ball right now, though. Maybe a medium reactive ball. It just looks like he either needs to move right with the urethane or get a reactive ball. I was going to play. Just way too much volume in the middle lane for urethane right now. Great ball roll. Nice spare.
Great spare. Taking care of the washout.
And see, being a TV star that he is, that didn't phase him.
Oh, not at all. This PBA washout, yeah, piece of cake. Done it a million times. Here's Nate Purchase. Another two-hander.
Middle lane too. Yeah, these kids need to get a little bit further right at the time. So looks like he's struggling with some sliding problems. And, you know, like being this age, and I have a 14 and 12-year-old, their emotions are a train wreck. And I think that he just needs to sit back and just realize he needs to have fun and learn.
And it was one of the things you wouldn't see on camera, but it was kind of off. We have Jason Simmons on the spare, and he gave him a little pat on the back after that
Yes, he did.
because Nate walked back and he was a little fried, a little upset, and Jason tried to calm him down a little bit.
Try to calm him down. It's okay though. I mean, these are young kids in a big environment. A lot of people watching, so it's going to happen.
Oh.
I'm loving this kid. Got a little high five from him.
Very nice.
Yeah, he throws it unbelievable.
See, that's how he responded after the miscue in the fourth. Says, just going to throw some great shots here.
It looked like he just moved left. Alex just moved left, or right, sorry. And he threw a strike, so he got out of the middle of the lane, which is big.
Haley made some really nice shots down the home stretch here in game 2. Finishes with 194 to lead the way on our girls feature pair. Jennifer Laredo, our defending champion, 190. And Brooklyn finished with 180. Steady scores, definitely not hurting yourself with those.
No, and you know, like, so there's some 190s and 2-0s. Like we said earlier, with the pattern being a little bit softer right now, that opens it up for someone to make a run. I really think someone's going to make a big run and go 180 to 200 over this round. 5 games, it's roughly 230. I think you're going to see someone go from the low 20s to, the high 20s to get to 16. you still got to make the shots. I don't care how the lanes are. You still have to make the shots. We got Jason up there again.
Kid 300 definitely been making the shots the last few frames.
He needs a not 90. His ball is running over the 8-pin right now. You don't see a lot of one-handers at his age get that much axe rotation. And rev rate, it's awesome to watch.
Very effortless. It's been putting on a show since the 4th frame.
Yeah, Alex definitely moved right.
Yeah, that was a big jump. It's still coming in a little bit light.
Yes. I'd like to see more reactive bowling balls with this long of a pack, to be honest.
It's a nice shot from Nick. He's had a few struggles this game. Almost looks like a little bit of fit issues there for him, just not feeling 100% right.
Ooh.
Oh.
He doesn't look phased though. So we're toward the end of game 2 for the boys, and game 3 is going to start for the girls pretty soon. I'm going to go down to the lead pair. Try to figure out what Julian, Brandon, Michael, and Salomon all shot. Try to help us out a little bit. I know it's pretty much irrelevant for making match play, but I'm curious what the leaders are rolling out. So I'll be right back.
All right, Ryan Russell. Got to make a run down there, see how our top competitors are faring as we hit the foundation frame. As Nick catches a break there, gets the 6-pin to trip out for a late double. Alex still having a little bit of trouble finding the 1-3 here. Did not come in light there. Leaving the 3 is 6, 9, 10. Asking for it, and you shall receive. Jason Simmons making it look easy here in game number 2. Jason was a little further back, tied for 37th to start this round at 4,078. So he's about 200 pins back, but the opportunity to go 250s here. With one more strike. And gets it. All right, folks, if you're enjoying this action here on Bowl TV, U15 final advances round from the 2018 Junior Gold Championships presented by the brands of Evan Knight International, please go ahead, give us a click on the thumbs up, or if you just like seeing Jason Simmons strike shoot at 251, that's certainly enough to earn a thumbs up click. Let us know you like what you're seeing. 251 for Kid 300. I think Ronnie Russell will be ready to take him on as a doubles partner whenever he's ready. Our girls a featured pair ready for game 3. 4 new competitors making their way. We have Trishelle Leal and Hannah Rowers up first. Trishelle on 30, Hannah on 29. Nice shot there from both players. Got a pair of early strikes. Our other two players, Melanie Hilbert and Samantha Conti, joining us here on Bowl TV. Hannah and Melanie, 14th and 15th heading into this round, so right around that cut number. Trishelle and Samantha, 22 and 23 in the standings to start the block. So they have a little bit of work here, the final few games, to make it into the top 16. Hi, Ronnie.
Hi, so I went down and checked a few scores. I only was able to get 3 right now. I wasn't able to get Julian's, but Brandon Bone had 169 first game. Solomon's off to a great start. He shot 235 the first game. He's working on 240 if he doubles in 10th. So looking to make a huge jump there to get toward first. So it's good to see what Julian's doing. Harmon had a really tough start. Michael Harmon, he had 139 the first game. And he didn't have much going this game either. So from the top, I mean, they're going to be coming down this area pretty soon and making the flip, and we'll be able to get them on the feature pair.
Julian skyrocketed into the lead after games of 226, 256, 256, 224, and 255 for a 12-17 5-game block, 217 pins over. He'd been pretty consistent throughout the week, but that's definitely the biggest set we've seen here at Forum throughout the week. Scores have been generally pretty low here.
They've been, yeah, I mean, through the first couple days, maybe even first 3 days, the highest boys score I had seen was 51 over until last team Oliver comes in, a two-handed left-hander from Ohio, and he shoots 124 over with a 160 game.
Oh, wow.
So they were very, very, very low here.
Got a chance to see Bryce at City View on day 2, and yes, very impressive. He made a nice run the last game there. I believe he shot 260 in his final game, but yeah, fun to watch. Very powerful.
He's a proven point of why hard work pays off, because last year he came here not even close to making the cut. I talked to his mother a little bit, and she said that he worked his butt off day in and day out and got to where he is now, and it's really starting to pay off. I think he's going to be tough to beat. He throws it so hard and hits it so hard on the left side that I think he's very mentally strong too. The spare game is just a little iffy, so I guess it really depends on that, but it's going to be a great next couple days here in Dallas watching these kids bowl.
Certainly going to be fun. We're going to know our U12 finalists for CBS Sports Network later today. Matt Canzaro and Jason Couch.
Now it looks like Brandon Bone needs a double to shoot 170. No, I'm sorry, 190. So the struggle's still happening for Brandon. Looks like he had 3 splits in a row there in the middle of the game. But, you know, with Hall of Famer Parker Bone, the third right behind you, I'm sure he's going to take care of that.
And we saw that actually during that block. Let's see, because Brandon started with 290 in game 1, and he actually hit our featured pair. He was on 29 and 30 in game 2, and those first 2 frames didn't go too well for Brandon, but you know, having the soothing ear of PB3 to kind of talk things over, ended up making a ball change and through the last 6 to get to 203. So in the grand scheme of things, that was a big boost to his overall performance as he went 212 over that block.
You know, the one thing I do want to say is that I've heard Parker say is he's letting him make his own mistakes as well. He's not just jumping in there and helping him with every move. I think the idea in this tournament is to let the kids make their own decisions, make their mistakes, and that's the only way you can learn. If you have someone telling you every time you make a good shot or a bad shot, how are you supposed to learn?
It's a valid point.
So Parker's just kind of letting him be right now. I think the only time he's going to jump in is if his emotions start to get out of place. And Brandon's really, he's strong-headed. He really is. And he's going to be one of the good bowlers on tour one day. He's already had a lot of success, and he's only 14 years old, I believe. He could be 15 by now. If he's 15, I'm really getting old.
He's not 15 yet.
He's not, so he can't be 15 yet.
Because he won U12 last year, so.
Okay. Oh, my goodness.
So you're not that old, Ron.
Thank God. But now I really feel for Justin Bone. He didn't have the week he wanted this week. Justin Bone is the best youth rep in the planet. That kid knows everything about moves, bowling balls. But I think he struggled this week doing it himself. It's so much easier to watch from the back. And that's what's good about Parker and Leslie is I think they let him make his own mistakes. And if they felt like he really needed a little bit of boost, I think they jumped in. And but Justin is a very smart kid. He's a very good bowler. He is going to learn from this. And, you know, the other day today we were talking and Justin threw 4 gutters in one game.
Oh, my.
And so, just kidding around, me and Leslie's like, you need to watch Tin Cup. He threw the first ball in the gutter and he kept going back at it. Most bowlers, when they throw a ball in the gutter, that next shot is 3 or 4 boards left.
Yeah.
And grab.
Yep.
To the Brooklyn side.
Pulling, not giving him a chance to do that. So that speaks a lot just about his confidence to make that shot. And
that's exactly right.
And Tin Cup is 100% the right reference for that.
I mean,
potentially a little bit stubborn more on Tin Cup side than.
Yeah, well, yeah. But no, Justin. I think Justin's going to make the Team USA, Junior Team USA, for the U20 boys when he gets up there, because he's so good physically and mentally. He's just so strong, and he really, for a 15-year-old, I believe he is. He's so much more mature than a lot of them. He has been since he was 12 years old. I've heard him go up and give his dad and other staffers on Brunswick advice about what they need to do with ball decisions when he was, in 6th grade. So he's a pretty fun kid to hang around, and I really enjoy the family.
I think he's got to take that turn, though. He's got the best youth ball rep out there.
I don't think there's anyone better. I think I need to pay him to follow me.
There we go. Justin, if you're listening, Ronnie's offering employment opportunities. All right, we got our boys here now in game number 3. Chase Fernandez, Bradley Baltazar, and Silas Alehrer joining us here. A little bit slow start for the guys. A few opens in the early going.
I must say, I think you spell it or pronounce it Trishelle.
Trishelle, yep.
Okay, she has a very nice shirt on.
It is
sporting that Columbia 300 logo.
There you go.
I had to throw one in there.
Hey, you earned it.
Thank you.
Of course, Columbia 300, part of the EBI family, and with the EBI family, we have a few new bowling balls out that you've come to know over the course of the past few weeks. Recently released, we have the Matrix Solid, the Choice, and the Destiny Solid and Destiny Pearl.
Yep, the Matrix, I believe, comes out August 12th. I believe I can say that because it was here this week at Junior Gold for the kids to be able to try out the demo days. And if you haven't been a part of the demo days at Junior Gold, make sure you sign up next year because it's a great chance for kids to really get out and engage with professionals, get to try the new products from Ebonite International, and we'll be there for the next 2 years guaranteed right now. And just make sure you sign up. It's a wonderful day. It's usually the day before registration. And what a wonderful opportunity it would be for your kids to come out to every bowling ball we have. But we have the Matrix Solid, which my experience throwing it so far, to me, it's the biggest hooking ball on the Ebonite and even all the brands line. This ball hooks so much down lane that I can't wait to bowl into her and bowl in all the oil we do with it. It's gonna give me an edge, I believe. But we also have the choice, and we have some really cool promotions coming up with the choice here in the next few months. So stay tuned for that. My first 6 games with the choice, I almost bowled 300 over with. So
not too shabby.
Yeah, it found its way in my bag pretty quick. And then kind of on the medium to low end, we have new balls of Destiny Solid and Destiny Pearl. It really gives you a good 1-2 punch. If you want a little 2-ball arsenal, that's a good start. You got a Solid there that kind of picks up and is smooth, and you got a Pearl that goes down the lane and flips. Now, if you don't want to talk on all the pro shop terms, all the fancy terms, every pro shop or every guy that comes in, every woman that comes in, they want a ball to go along and flip.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy to get. Two ball punch, Destiny Solid, Destiny Pearl. Hang in there. Now the one thing I will say, I've watched spare shooting in this place, the whole week. The front of the lane hooks so much here. And if you get your ball offline early on a spare shot, I hope it's right, because it's going to hook. No matter what they're throwing, whether it's a plastic ball or how much volume's on the lane, the front of the lane just hooks.
A few miscues there here in the middle of game 3, but another opportunity to see how these kids respond. We saw that with Jason Simmons. He ended up striking out that game for 251.
Looks like she pulled maybe a little left, Melanie.
She was working on a double before leaving the 3-6-10. Here's Samantha. I like Samantha's game.
Their swing is really straight. She really gets through it. It looks pretty effortless. One of the biggest things when I have a chance to work with girls at clinics is a lot of them, their hands don't stay behind the ball very long. I have worked with a few girls from Alabama. One of them is working on it, but the other one, Sierra, she made a cut into last night and then this morning, and working with her, her hand was dead on the side of the ball when we first met. And her roll is so much stronger. I think she moved up probably 100 spots this year in junior gold. And she's a great college bowler at UAB, and she's came a long way. But I think there's so much potential for all these girls out here, because as I'm watching right now, I haven't seen one of them with their hand on the side of the ball. They all have a strong roll, and being under 15 and having that already, that's saying a lot for these girls.
And you talk about the opportunities as well. You mentioned Sierra. I'm guessing that's Sierra Lewis?
Yeah, Sierra Lewis.
All right. UAB, but the opportunities, especially on the girls' side, to further their career on the collegiate side, yes, between NCAA and USBC collegiate, just phenomenal nowadays. And not only that, obviously the coaching has continued to progress as more and more programs get out there. It's not just to get out there and go bowl. It's to get out there, put together a program, and content.
Yes. And this is right here is just all steps. This is all steps to a career. And what you learn from this, what you take from this is the most important thing. This is probably the only tournament of the year where I would say winning doesn't matter as much. I guess it's a bold statement. It's about what you take from it. For a few people in this tournament, winning will change it. It will change their outlook on their career and all that. But for the majority of them, it's about learning from the experiences and just really gaining from everything you've learned. And knowing where you are and really trying to get past the adversity of maybe you didn't finish as high as you want to, but now you have a goal for next year. You set that goal where you want to get to, and you try to accomplish it. And as long as you're thinking in those terms, you're going to continue to move up and be a better bowler.
All right, everybody who's with us in the chat room and everyone who watches us on archive later, that was fantastic, Ronnie.
What I did.
Everything you just said there was 100% right. if we look at just the numbers in general this year, more than 3,800 bowlers, 6 players are going to win at the end of it. So obviously, to be one of those 6, obviously you've had a tremendous week, amazing week. But what you learn, what you take away from it, the steps, the goals you set to move forward to continue to improve that, definitely 100% the most important part. And that was perfect.
And the way I look at it, I've bowled, I don't know how many tournaments on the PBA Tour. I've won like 4. I have 6 or 7 seconds. I've won like 10 or 11 regionals. I've bowled a lot of tournaments, so I don't win every time. Even the best bowlers on the planet, Chris Barnes, Jason Belmonte, they don't win every time. So, but what they do is when they don't have the greatest week or if they just miss a show, they learn. And I'll tell you, for instance, Bill O'Neill, this last little run we had, he just missed a show a few tournaments in a row, and he got really unlucky. Well, he made the show in the 3rd tournament. And I think even though Bill is one of the best bowlers on the planet, there's still so much learning to do each shot with us. So if the best bowlers in the world are learning, think about how much these kids are taking in. When I was their age, I was not near advanced mentally as these kids are. And I played more baseball and stuff like that when I was their age. But they're so mature. And just if you watch them down there, they're focused on what they're doing. They're not back here playing Fortnite and all this on their little machines.
No, not at all.
And they're just up there so focused on what they're doing, and you don't see that at any other tournaments.
Yes, I think the point of being, especially when you get down to kind of this part of the tournament, because many of these players, they've been around enough tournaments before that the maturity level really shows that they're calm, they're collected, and they have the opportunity to bowl so much now that they're already kind of, they know these feelings, they know the ups and downs, the rigors of a tournament week, whether it's junior gold or something, just back at home at the weekend. All that comes to apply, and they're really able to basically show that poise. And I think that's one thing, even thinking back for myself, was between myself and some of my friends, we were definitely not the most poised kids out there.
Right. I mean, these kids are under 15, and you're not supposed to be focused when you're a young teenager. Mm-hmm. Your mind's supposed to be on a million things.
Yes.
And it looks like most of them they're so into this right now. And I know it's an important part of the stage, but after the long week we've had, they are still this focused. That says a lot about them. The one thing I love about these kids is, I haven't seen one kid just get truly mad. You know what I mean?
There's been some frustration here and there, but
sure, yeah.
But no breakdowns, no meltdowns, nothing like that. Having emotions, perfectly fine, and that's going to happen.
Fine.
And you look back at a block, and maybe you let a few spares get away, and all of a sudden you're looking at that math, and I could really use that 40, 50 pins that. You see some folks get a little worked up there, but it's all seems very short-lived. Even some of the kids I've seen today who may have missed the cut have very short memory on it. It's frustrating right now, and then all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, I see them back there. They're smiling, they're having a good time, they're talking to their friends. Yes, very, very impressed by the demeanor of these young athletes this week.
I used to think, I used to watch Mika play Navy ball. You couldn't tell whether he shot 240 or 140. You just couldn't tell. And I used to think that, I would watch him and I wanted to be like that, where you just really couldn't tell when I'm bowling. And I think a lot of people think that about me now. But at the same time, I want to show my raw emotions, because if it comes out, it comes out. I mean, it's true. But my idea of emotions is, if you have a lot of emotions, that just, to me, personally, I feel like I want it more than anybody. If you're really showing those true emotions, you want it. If you're out there if you're out of it and you just don't care, then what are you really here for? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for some of these kids to show some emotions. And one little kid, last pair, he fell, and I don't know if he ripped his shirt when he fell or if he ripped it out of anger, but that's okay. He's 13 to 15 years old, and he's allowed to do it. He's not kicking anything. He's into himself, and he really, really wants to do really well. And I think that'll still carry him a long ways, And as long as he channels, it's Pete Weber. It's the Pete Weber effect. Pete tries to make himself mad at something, because when his emotions get going, he uses them in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, everyone handles it different, and I think you're going to see that little kid. He throws it great. He was a two-hander, and I just think he was embarrassed at the time. His emotions got the best of him. But like I said, he's 13 to 15 years old.
You're allowed to do that.
You're allowed. I was eating peanut butter and jelly and macaroni and cheese every day. So I have no opinion on that.
The diet of champions.
We got a really colorful outfit down here. Ryan Taylor.
Ryan Taylor, that is coordinated too.
Man, looks like the 4th of July, and an artist got a hold of him.
He's putting Spencer up for his best dressed award. That
yes,
is.
He is. I'm gonna go ahead and just guess that Kyle Troop's his favorite bowler. He's two-handed.
What's his name? Ryan Taylor?
Ryan Taylor.
Let's see if I have this information available. We have a little cheat sheet on some of the kids as far as kind of like favorite bowler, some high scores for them. So let's see. Taylor and Ryan are both very common names. This might take a while. Ryan Taylor. For Ryan.
Anthony Simonson.
Anthony Simonson. So he's part of the Fish family at least. So he's keeping that in there.
Logan Fossum. Favorite bowler, E.J. Tackett. I live 20 minutes from E.J. He'll be happy to hear that. Someone actually likes him.
Rough crowd on E.J. Tackett today.
That's what happens when he's one of your best friends. You're allowed to get to him.
Our girls are finishing up here. Melanie still has her 10th frame to go. Hannah finished with 194. Just with the one open frame. Had the split conversion in there. Trishelle 169. Samantha 156. Melanie, clean game. 4 consecutive. Oh, excuse me. That 1-1 looked like a spare there.
Yeah, we got 4 consecutive 7 spares. Right?
The 8th frame though.
Oh, okay.
I saw the same thing. I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that's. But she had the 8th frame didn't go as planned, but.
So she's a little lost, a little strike here. Still keeps her at 197, which is not a bad game. I think it's about average for today. We'll take her extra little time. Hit the rosin bag one more time. That's what I mean about being focused and sticking to your pre-shot routines. I love her little setup here. Just really gets nice and set before she goes. Looks pretty good. She can get the carry. And just flashed it out.
There's the double for Melanie.
So we almost seen her smile a little bit, I think. Where's she at in the standings coming into the day here?
Oh, let me get that for you.
Oh, we only have the boys right here. Okay, let me.
So Melanie was just inside. She was 15th.
Okay, I'm gonna go find out what she shot her first few games.
Ronnie's on the move.
Her parents have to be right here somewhere.
Melanie Hilbert from Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. Was averaging 185 overall for her first at 21 games. Favorite bowler, Deandra Asbady. High game 278, high series at 714. With a 191 average heading into junior gold here in 2018.
right, so Melanie, right around the bubble coming into this to today, she shot 226 first game, 179 the second game, and 197. So she's around even. So I'm gonna say she's right there going in the last 2 games.
I would agree with you.
A couple good games here, get her in.
Doing what she needs to do.
That was a big double. Now we know why she was taking her time, and she really converted.
And if you look at the overall, obviously from block to block it's going to vary, but overall for the field average, only one player is plus on the girls' side so far through 21 games heading into this round. So being evens, that's a chance to move up.
Yeah, I would have to say right now she's probably around 9th or 10th if I had to guess, based on the score they see. Kaylee hit. I didn't know she was even bowling. Rick hit from Hits Pro Shop, I believe that's their daughter, I would guess.
She's not only bowling, Ronnie, she's going to be on TV. She was part of the Ohio Storm at the USA Bowling yesterday, and she's part of the team that advanced to the finals. So Kaylee, along with Jillian Martin, Nolan Blessing, Angelo Biondo, and Kyle and Ryan Hanzik, going to be advancing.
I jumped up there to go see the Ohio Valley kids yesterday, and because I actually worked the USA Bowling qualifier in Ohio, in Dayton, Ohio, and those kids up there, every one of them said they loved that team environment. They had a blast. I didn't get to sit there and watch them actually bowl, and so I don't know the exact scores, but took a couple pictures with them, and they had a blast.
It's definitely, and I was there for the qualifying, so a little bit different environment there, but still the same idea, the team competition, the camaraderie, the being able to work together to do better for the good than just worrying about yourself individually. And it's a fun program. I'm glad it's gotten to the point where it's not only on the regional level, because that's how it started off, it was just regional events, now taking it to the national, being part of the CBS Sports Network extravaganza that we have going on tomorrow at the ITRC. They're going to have their hands full, though, with the defending champions in the U15. 3 rights, make a left. Spencer, Brandon Bonta, and Silas Limes all returning. They added the very talented Piper Reams as well. Had a Baker 300 in qualifying, so they're going to have their hands full, but should be fun to watch in a few days. And we got Kaylee right here.
Does that mean we're going to have a lot of sixlets there?
Oh, there's going to be more sixlets than you'll know what to do with.
I'm excited.
They're all right.
Yeah. I didn't think the kids, I know when we were growing up, they were everywhere. And I got so excited when I went to the USA Bowling, which I will mention, a team came all the way from Atlanta to Dayton to try to qualify. But we get there, and there's boxes of sixlets there.
Oh, yeah.
I was in heaven the whole day. I think they were meant for the kids, but it is what it is.
If they never saw them, they don't know they were there. So.
And trust me, I don't need any more sixlets. I'm good.
All right, we're talking about Kaylee Hinton. There she is, taking care of the single pin to kick things off. She is joined by Anna Bartz and Jenna Hedgepath here in Game 4 of 5 in the U15 Final Advancers round. Here at the 2018 Junior Gold Championships presented by the Brands of Evernight International. Nicely done, Anna.
Trip 4 pin.
So we mentioned Kaylee was right, or she was actually 16th heading into this round. Jenna and Anna were 20th and 21st. So with only half the field cut to make it to match play, definitely quite a few folks are right around the number. Sounded like -1.
-4 through 3.
Oh, -4.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I think she's just right there. So maybe they're not as easy as we intended and thought they were at first. I just thought with them breaking down to the right with some surface and it being 42, 43 feet, they were going to create some hold. And I would assume on the boys' side with a little more rev rate, they're going to get into the pins a little bit better.
Another spare for Anna, 2 for 2. Jenna attacking the lanes from the left side. We haven't seen too many girls from the left here in the final advancers round. I know our defending champion, Jennifer Laredo, caught her a little bit earlier.
She's just doing, or Kaylee's doing what she needs to do. Hit the 1-3, pick up her spare, scam a double, maybe a 3-bagger game, move on to the finals. I'd have to assume with the angle she's playing and just her overall ability of where she is physically, I think she's going to make this cut. I'd be really surprised if she did shoot 210, 220 in this game.
Another player where you just really see, gets that step out of the way. Just a nice, clean, straight arm swing. Very level head, just kind of keeps everything right in path.
See, Anna moved left on that shot. I think she asked her dad what she should do. She moved left. Now, the only issue with moving left with the kind of ball roll she has is that it kind of reads a little quick and it stands up on her. So she's really going to have to get the pocket away a lot more. Well, the problem with that is her tilt and X rotation isn't going to allow her ball to get to the pins. I would almost rather see her go with a little bit weaker ball and stay on top of that friction roll a little more. Because the lanes for the girls, they don't really break down as fast. So I think that's why you see the girls playing a lot further right than the boys right now. But I think the girls just go in a little bit weaker ball. Still kind of a rolly sensation, but ooh, that didn't look like they batted a shot. It may have just read a little early. But yeah, I think trying to avoid to stay away from moving too far left with a strong ball is probably key. Kaylee's shot, from my angle, it looked okay. It could have been a little further left off her hand, but just pick up 2 here and refocus.
She'll take the one. Anna converted that 3-9-10.
I do know in lane 30, it's been the good lane the whole time. So maybe it just got beat up so much in the front there, outside of like 7 board, that she might need a little bit of launch area. She might move into like 8 or 9 and just play the same angle. Now 29 to me is going to be a little bit tougher because the girls have moved in a little bit on that lane, and so it makes the front of the lane a little drier. It makes the down lane seem a little bit tighter. So are we behind down here, the boys? Like, what's going on?
I think so. They finished 3 so quick, but that was one of our pairs with a 3, so maybe we're waiting for a 4 to get over here. Because we have a few pairs just looking that have the summer fun specials going on. So
Kaylee definitely needs to move her feet at least 2 left. But since I'm not the parent, I'm not going to say nothing.
as you said earlier, sometimes learning on your own.
Yes. It doesn't look like she moved at all off the last shot. I mean, it's kind of hard to move off the flat 10 because it's really not getting to the pocket the way you want it. So you feel like you still have enough push, but the second you overcompensate and try to make it strike, 5 or 6 happens every time. She seems to, step away and refocus. And
Looks like she's doing just that, coming back here, kind of getting out of the bowler's area.
Yeah.
Discussing what she's seeing with
think he just told her to move 3.
Move 3.
I
All
think
right.
That's not bad, though. I mean, her bowling ball has quite a bit of surface. Like I said, she needs a little bit of launch area. Two. All right, he told her 2, which is why I originally said in the first place. So needs to pick up a little bit. All right, there you go.
Definitely look good getting down there.
It's just
Was able to splash him.
it's amazing in bowling, all the variables that go into this game. I mean, she goes up there and her ball has trouble hooking and she leaves a flat 10 and then she goes split. I mean, out of nowhere. It's like someone just lit the oil on fire right in her laydown point. And it happens a lot in her game. But that's why the best bowlers in the world always think 3 to 4 frames ahead. They see it coming before it ever happens. Chris Barnes is one of the best at it. If you ever bowl a whole round with him and just listen to him talk to himself, which he does a lot, mostly positive, he is always thinking, 3 to 4 or 5 frames ahead. Watching, just seeing the trend that is going on. The pairs next to him, or maybe even his next pair. He's always walking around observing. And that's why he's one of the smartest players in our game. And I've learned a lot from watching him and being around him in my years that I try to pay attention as much as I can. And I think these girls and the boys, once they hit the U20 time, they're going to start to develop that. And they're really paying attention more to the lanes. Because right now, a lot of them they're focused on what their dads or moms are telling them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that goes along with, I was talking about the Bone family earlier, is Parker knows it. So he's letting them learn a little bit. And then I think in the next few years, he's really going to beat down on them and say, okay, this is needs to be your thought process when you go out there, If you feel transition happening, it's happening. See what the player next to you is doing. If you don't have it, try to figure it out. Always think 2 to 3 frames ahead of time. Because you don't want what happened to Kaylee to happen, where she thinks she's doing a good shot, the ball hooked at her toes, and now it's high on the head pin the whole time. So her dad, I'm assuming it's her dad, moved her left. Now on that shot there, she was using the right to left angle. Now she tried to get it going up the lane. If you get it going up the lane, being 2 boards in, it's not going to hook. That's the only issue with it. So I would almost squeeze back 1 on the right, or 1 right on the left lane if I were Kaylee the next shot. And just let it go. You gotta get your ball to hit the friction at the right time. Or the dry. I know some people don't like the word friction, so I'll use the old school term dry.
We're ready for game 4 on our boys featured pair, and tough break for Cameron Hurwitz to kick things off. Runner-up in the U12 division in 2015. And if you haven't seen John Nunn, though, this kid has some power.
I think we talked about him yesterday. I don't remember. Does he have a brother named Kevin?
I am not sure on that.
I feel like he does. I think he was in a conversation yesterday. That looked like a really good shot that John just threw, and he is very surprised too. But if you remember right, we had 2 kids in our last group throwing urethane in that exact same spot. So it does have an effect on the lanes. It pushes the oil down there. It's about knowing what was going on before you got here, though. I mean,
Alex did.
Oh, it's got a chance.
Oh. I was going to say, Alex finally did move to reactive in the 10th frame of that game. So.
Did he? Okay.
Yep.
Kaylee needs to figure out a way to throw a 3-bagger here coming down to the 9th and 10th. She knows the last shot on the left lane didn't hook. Question is, does she slow down where she's at, or does she move 1 back to the right?
Now, when you find yourself in a situation where you almost have to make that decision, what is it? A comfort thing? Is it what kind of?
I don't care which decision you make, you have to stick with it. I mean, you got to be committed to what you're going to do. When you step on the lanes, if you still don't know what you're doing, you're not going to make that shot. She has to be committed here. Whatever move she makes, she's got to be committed or she's going to struggle. It looks like she went one back to the right, maybe two, based off. I can't see the boards right now, but she definitely went back to the right on that lane. That's a great shot.
Fantastic. Posting in the foundation frame.
Yeah, I mean, if she could somehow pull a 170 out of this, even a high 160, it keeps her in it. So big shot coming up for Kaylee.
Young Cameron Hurwitz, we had him on a little bit earlier today, shot a 300 at the Youth Open prior to the start of the Junior Gold, so some early momentum for him.
Wow. I'm going to have to start thinking about retirement soon. When are these kids going to be on tour?
You got at least 5 or 6 more years.
Okay, all right. I'm good with that. Wow, they throw good. I know I'm short, but he's not even up to my chest yet. He throws it 10 times better than I throw it.
Cameron,
you can agree with that. It's okay.
I can, and I will.
Wow, he throws it good.
In the U12 back in the Chicagoland area. We had Junior Gold over there. Cameron made it all the way to the finals. He ended up falling to Spencer Robarge that year in the championship match. So definitely a name we've become familiar with even a few years ago. So
you guys have seen this coming for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's my turn to see it coming.
So now here is your introduction, Mr. Russell.
So Kaylee steps up there, makes the move, and just dead flushed it for the first one attempt. This is a big shot here because I still think she's hovering around 16th. I don't know the exact scores. That's going to lay there. Ugh. So she's going to shoot 167, I believe, if she spares it up. So she's not going to be very comfortable going to this next game. But she can't do nothing about it now, and now you have to just focus on what you're going to do the next game to get there.
We had a question in the chat about Brandon Haney, who's one pair to our left.
Okay.
And he had the front 7 before that last shot crossed over, left a 6-pin. But we got to see Brandon in the final game last round. Now looking to make another run here.
He is, where's he at coming in today? He was 14th coming in today.
14th, so
I don't know what he shot, but this can't hurt.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, 270, 260, 250. Definitely a moves you around the standings a bit. Shanna finishes with 166, Kaylee 167, and with the spare,
wow,
and I can get to 173. I believe he works a lot with, or definitely has spent a lot of time with Norm Duke and Rhino Page as well. He actually has an older brother who's competing this week, Reese. I think Reese snuck into the U20 final advancers round, so the Hurwitz family, always great to see them. Actually, Reese is sitting right behind us, so right there on the corner.
Okay. Well, I see some family members of Wichita State hats on. Is that a sign for the future? Or?
Potentially. They also have some guy named Mark Lewis standing very close by, so he's not too bad.
Yeah, he snuck in here behind us, didn't he? I don't think he's aged since I bowled college 15, 16 years ago. You know, the thing about Cameron, he comes back after throwing it that good for a double after the 710 and just, he's like, I'm just going to get up here and throw another shot. Looks like he's here just bowling. Not worried about results. Is he, do we know if he's 14 or?
I was going to say,
last year he was 12, right?
that was 2015 when he.
Okay.
So we actually have a pretty crazy backstory with Cameron as well. When he made the show in 2015, we got the picture pulling up the story here. He was actually wearing a protective mask.
Yeah.
So for Cameron, let's see, I don't want to get it incorrect, but essentially he was having issues with his bone marrow to correctly function. So for a long time he was unable to attend school, was quarantined at home for a few months, and really his only escape during that time was heading to the bowl. And he couldn't be around other folks, so he actually went out to Clover Lanes, Rose Bowl Lanes, owned by another gentleman we've seen throughout the week, Doug Kent.
Mm-hmm.
And they would let him go in after hours, so he wouldn't have to worry about any of that. And it was still pretty tough for him. So that particular year was almost a last-minute decision for the family to come out. He got the clearance from the doctors to be able to come out, come bowl, and then all of a sudden he's making his way through round by round and on TV show. So that was definitely a great story. And now Cameron definitely doing. Had a long conversation with his folks last year, and definitely doing a lot better, feeling a lot better. They've ended up having a lot of it taken care of, so he's on the up and up and ready to start showing these U15 kids what's up.
I mean, I'd be nervous if I were them. I'm sitting here watching his physical game and just his overall demeanor. He knows exactly what he's doing. I think I might have to get some slow motion on this kid and try to imitate that a little bit.
Definitely creates some speed. And even gets a little airborne.
Yeah, he's got the EJ Tackett thing, where at one point, their feet are completely off the ground. EJ's getting a little bit slower now, though.
Well, he's getting up there, too. So
He's
that's
25. Let's not get too crazy with it.
Brendon Caruso is our third player on 27 and 28. Another two-hander.
Really love how he's in his own world when he's up there.
Making sure the fit is right. Was really digging into the fit.
Just a little bit left target. He knows it. He knows how to fix it, I believe. He's one of the kids that looks like he's going to make that move himself.
Unfortunately paid the ultimate price, though. His second 710. First one was pocket. That one broke up to 4-710.
Let's see him bounces out.
This was the lane. We saw it almost happen earlier.
Let's do it. One time.
Well, hopefully there's not a next time, but
He looks like, see, he's just a little smile. He's looking, it's awesome.
he's got this whole thing under control. He's a seasoned vet.
Now, is he? Oh, he is wearing. He wears tennis shoes. He wears tennis shoes to bowl.
Yep. That's what it looks like. Yeah, those are.
I thought at first he may have a sliding sole on it, but no, I don't think he does. Maybe he does. Because he just slid his foot. He could have had sliding soles put on those. I got to see if he slides or not. Yeah, he slides. So he has custom made those Nike tennis shoes into some bowling shoes. I'm about to get a picture of that later.
Feeling good, looking good.
He's wiping it off and everything. see a Dexter Red Soul in there. So yeah, he definitely customized it. Good for him, doing his own thing.
Absolutely.
I do want to mention, it was each year at this tournament, Dexter does give out scholarships. What is it, 8 or is it 6 scholarships?
It's usually well, for the Dexter All-Americans,
All-American, yeah.
those are 10, five boys, 5 girls.
Okay.
And that was part of the opening ceremony as well. All those kids got recognized. Tyler Jensen was up on stage presenting those awards.
Yeah, it's really cool, all the involvement that really all of the companies in the industry have to do with this tournament. I signed with EBI last year, and I didn't know what I was getting into at Junior Gold last year when they said, okay, we're going to go over the ceremonies. And I just remember thinking, wow, like it's a cool little stadium the kids are in. What a cool environment. This year, just I can't stop talking about it. It's just so cool, and the amount of time like that Evan Knight and the USBC and just everyone involved has put in is astonishing. I mean, 15-hour days for a lot of people, and I'll tell you, the volunteers have been. I've been at Forum all week, and the volunteers have been here with smiles on their face.
They've been awesome
the whole time. So.
And that's a big part of what makes this week work is, obviously we're in our backyard here at the international bowling campus, just a few minutes actually away from here in Forum. So a lot of USBC staff on hand, but the volunteers this week. I mean, everywhere we go, not just here in the Dallas area, but Cleveland, Indianapolis, Detroit, wherever the tournament ends up going. Without those volunteers giving up their time to, because essentially, this is a whole week. We started on Monday. It's Friday now. To take their time out to be able to give that to these kids so they have a great experience, a smooth transition as they're going through with score corrections and anything else, Deadwood, wherever they may need to call in, any type of that. Volunteers are right there helping them out, and we certainly appreciate it because, yeah, we definitely couldn't do it without them.
Cameron's fallen in a little bit of trouble here these last few frames. Looks like he got a little bit lost. I personally think with his roll, he probably needs to be in something a little stronger and moving a little bit left. His only problem's been going high. I mean, it doesn't look like he's moved much. It looks like he's actually slowed down his speed a little bit too. This is makeable though, definitely with this longer pattern. Now he did miss a 9-pin, I believe it was. Or was it a 3-pin? I couldn't tell though. Although he was a little upset, he's still sitting there smiling right now. Now once you go through something like he did a few years ago in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
All this is just gravy. It doesn't mean near as much as what he went through. And for him to be bowling right now and at the level he is, it's pretty awesome.
I know last year, I believe last year was his first year back in the U15, and he fell short of making that first cut, and that was kind of the at the time when I chatted with his folks a little bit, and all of a sudden he's two rounds further than that this year, and that's just 365 days later. So that's a testament to the work and the time and the effort.
He moved left a little bit.
Come on, 9-pin.
I think that ball, whatever he's throwing, I'm not sure what he's throwing, but it's just a little sensitive to the dry. He almost needs something just a little smoother off the dry. Maybe a touch of surface just to slow it down a little bit. But he's a kid. He wants to see his ball go along with him. So until my physical game can get as good as his, I'm not going to say anything to him. A lot of friction there, buddy. He almost missed it again. Or dry there, sorry. I'm going to use the word dry every time.
Dry.
Yeah.
Old school. Dry.
School.
It's appropriate for a place like Forum Lanes that has such a history, too.
Yeah, I found out about the history when I got here. And I do know, and I can say this with confidence, that Parker Bone did not bowl well here. So his son, Brendon Bone, is showing him what's up on the left side.
That's true. That is true.
I found that out. I don't know if it's from Leslie or Justin, but it definitely wasn't for Parker. He ain't everything. Wow. Letting him know, too.
Packs a punch.
He must be close. That's some good emotions there. He must be close. And we apologize for not having the scores up right now. As soon as we know something, we will let you guys know.
Yeah, coming into the round, John was in 28th place, 41.53. 16th was a 42.79, so a little bit of work to do, but after 2 early opens, can still get to 215 this game.
Alyssa Alexander. She does pretty good.
Girls are ready for game number 5. Alyssa Alexander, Morgan Brunette.
She has Indiana on her right sleeve. Is that from the Indianapolis tournament or?
I'm going to say the Indianapolis tournament.
Okay. So there's something I'm missing.
I checked the girls when you were talking about that earlier, so we only had the one Indiana representative from here in U15.
Got another one. We got to assume that he's right there. Family's getting excited. I expect if he strikes here, it's going to get loud.
John found some success last round. He actually hit this pair. Ended up, I think he was in the 250s. So it's definitely been comfortable, regardless of what the pattern is here on 27 and 8. So Kirsten Moore and Sierra Poole also joining us for game number 5 on 29 and 30. Here's John, far left of your screen, looking to make it 4 in a row. That's got to hustle.
I'm going to go find out what he shot.
All right, Ronnie, getting the information.
He wasn't as high as I thought he might have been. He's about 8 to 10 under right now for the block, so I mean he's going to be, you know, just a few under. So that could just be, you know, they're getting really excited for him because he made it to this point. They want to see him finish out well.
And that's a big thing too, and I think that's one of the great assets a parent can bring to this event is at some point for so many of these kids, obviously only 16 from, we had almost 700 kids in the U15 boys, only 16 make it to match play. And getting to this point, you know, everyone has their goals coming in, you know. For a lot of kids, when you talk to them, just want to make that first cut.
I agree.
Just want to make that first cut. And then they get there, and the further they get along, you know, at the moment, and a lot of times, you know, man, my run came to an end. And we're not saying that's the case for John, you know, never know for sure. Could pop off a big game here and, you know, staying even this block. Certainly not Hurton's case. But kind of being able to be in that perspective and have the parent, you know, kind of reel you back in after, you know, that disappointment of kind of having a run come to an end. Because, you know, unfortunately we're going to have 32 boys who their tournament's going to end here in another game.
Well, it could be another book, too, for college. I mean, you can jump a few extra spots. You never know.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, they get money put in their smart fund, I believe, for this.
That is correct.
I don't know a lot about it, but I think that's what happens.
Now there's a scholarship fund. This year's scholarship fund, a record $350,000 available for the competitors in
What is
each of the age-based divisions.
what kind of scholarship does the winner take home for each division? Do we know that?
I'm not sure if that's been posted, but we can look at last year's. Last year's was $320,000. So let's stick in the U15 division. So it's actually based off of points. So
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
so that's makes it a little tough. So but one way or another, it adds up to $320,000 from last year. So I believe the points actually work into their SMART program once again, the all-encompassing kind of home for scholarships until players are ready to get to college and be able to put that together. And of course, not only here at Junior Gold, but throughout the course of qualifying for Junior Gold and preparing for Junior Gold, they can bowl events throughout the course of the bowling season, accumulate that, make it a little bit easier on mom and dad to take care of accommodations and class schedule, books, and all that goes into that college experience.
There's so much opportunity for the kids nowadays. It's just unbelievable to watch. I think when we were growing up, I think all we might have had was a Pepsi tournament. And that was, I think there was some sort of national championship for that. I never bowled it. I never tried, but I think it's about the only national tournament we really had. Got some reverend coming in lane 27.
We had Tony last game as well, Tony Lundy, and yeah, not afraid to bring the heat, if you will. Tyler had a really good game on. He actually shot 265 here on Bowl TV at the end of last round. Had a 4.79 was his only non-strike that game.
Oh, wow.
Just had one creep a little bit high, maybe adjustment after that off the sheet. Our third, Connor Pula.
We're close to Solomon down here too. He's had a good start today. I think he finished with 240 second game. I'm not sure what his third game was. Two-handed left-hander. Looks like he's still in the purple hammer. It's a good choice. Sorry, had to throw that out there.
Hey, no worries. No worries at all. Solomon's been impressive the past few years. Obviously, you know, sometimes we kind of talked about it earlier, even with Cameron last game. You know, you get that introduction sometimes with a player at Junior Gold, and Solomon just kind of came out of left field in 2016 and just kept winning matches and was just consistent, kept doing his thing, and ended up taking that victory in Indianapolis. So all of a sudden he's on the radar. And then last year, I mean, that TV show 299.
He's the one. Okay, I didn't put two together.
He's the one. Yep.
No wonder he looks so good bowling. So he's a superstar.
He's a stud.
How do you go on television your first time as a? How old was he at the time? 14.
Would have been 14, I believe, last year. Yep.
How can a 14-year-old go on TV for the first time with those hot lights on you, with TV cameras around you, and shoot 299? I don't care what pattern's out there. I don't care if it's the easiest environment anybody's ever experienced. How do you do that? It's pretty awesome.
He was so in the zone. Our coworker Terry Bigham did a little profile in Bowler's Journal in our USBC Insider section on Solomon. And he started off the piece with, "Is that a train?" And because where the bowling center was last year is located near a set of train tracks. And while he was up like in frame 7 or frame 8, like midway through his approach, all of a sudden he heard a sound. He's like, it was a train going by. And he was just that focused, that in the zone, just doing what he was doing, that he's like, oh, kind of drifted off, thought about that for a second. Still delivered like nothing was going on, and just...
Well, if he's anything like my son, he's obsessed with trains. My son would have probably quit the TV show, went outside, and tried to find out what train it was.
And that's one thing that's really, we talked a little bit about two-handers, kind of what percentage. The two-handers attacking the lanes from the left side, not something we really see too much of at the higher levels outside of Jesper Svensson, one or two other guys, but I've seen so many of them here this week that whether they're kind of modeling themselves after Jesper or not.
I think it's going to be hard to beat these guys when they get to the professional level. I mean, Wesley is starting to do work on the professional level, and I mean, there's at least a handful of these kids here this week that I don't know how we're going to beat them in the next 5 years, because their bodies aren't even grown yet. Can you imagine how much power they're going to gain in the next 2 or 3 years?
Absolutely. Still have time to grow. We saw that with, think about even Cameron Doyle from when he was 12, 13 to now he's a big tall guy now.
He is so tall. I call him the baby giraffe. Looks like he got that one a little right. He's wishing for it to go to the left and stone eights. He knew it the whole time.
Sierra makes it 5 out of 6 with the Brooklyn hit there.
Sierra was okay with trying to get over there, Brooklyn. She didn't care.
Sometimes you need those hits. They all seem to even out when it kind of get around to it.
That's the way I look at it.
Exactly.
Everyone goes Brooklyns. The monitors don't know. All it sees is 10 pins going down.
All I see is 5 out of 6 strikes, so yes. You are 100% right.
Good shot. That thing picked up pretty quick on her. There's another move left. She's struggled in this lane so far the whole time.
Now, Ronnie, I feel you talk a little bit about the fronts burning up here.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of folks, that's kind of the toughest thing to notice when they're out there, whether you probably don't see it as much in league, maybe depending on which house you're at, but kind of what are the signs that for someone who's trying to pick that up to kind of say, hey, maybe this is happening? What are you seeing as far as ball roll? What's kind of giving you that telling sign that the fronts may be going, maybe it's not something down lane?
All right, for instance, if you're throwing one of the, like a strong ball, we'll say an asymmetric ball, I don't care what company, whoever it may be, if your ball looks like it's skating to the front, but then it just looks like it's lopey, and it doesn't want to hook down lane, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, your ball's burning up. Now, on the professional level, we see it pretty quick. A lot of these kids and a lot of these parents might think it's, they need the ball up. Well, because their ball's not hooking. It's actually the opposite. And the telltale sign is, if your ball is burning up, if you're playing a straighter angle, it will freeze on the head pin faster, okay? If you move left, you're still into the burn, and your ball might, you're used to your ball revving up really fast, but if it looks like your ball is like really lopey looking, kind of slow looking, then you know your ball's burning up. So the idea of that is to maybe get a ball that could be a pearl, could be anything, but if you want to get on the technical side, you want to be in a little higher RG ball, possibly a little lower diff, which is actually like a smaller core, and you'll see that ball get down the lane and go left. And that is probably one of the hardest things for bowlers to determine, whether their ball is burning up or not. And the end result is, okay, so you are getting your ball to the pocket, but it's hitting flat. It hits flat no matter how you get it there, okay? And then you move and you stone 9. You're like, okay,
So where's it at now? Is it burning up or is it saving energy now? Well, you know you're in the wrong ball at that point. And she just threw a shot, Morgan. It looked like an okay shot, but her ball was just so lazy down lane. She needs to get a ball with a little higher energy, probably a mid-range ball in one of the lines maybe, and it will save energy and hook down lane. So you can't be fooled by, I don't know how to say this, you can't be fooled by how much oil's on the lane and how much volume's on the lane, because the front of the lanes get so scratched up. In any center you go to, I don't care whether it's Brunswick Amberlane, whether it's HPL or any of the other kind of lanes, they get scratched up. That makes your ball go through the core motion a lot faster and it loses energy. So you're really looking for a launch pad. The only way to do that sometimes is to get in a little bit weaker ball. And on this, I would say for the majority of the girls, I would be in a symmetric ball, a little smaller core with a little bit of surface. Just so that core can just save energy. That's where a flat 10 comes from most of the time. The ball's conserved all of its energy, has no energy to go into the pocket and go through the 8-9. So just kind of watch out for how the pins fall. That's one thing Norm Duke does very well. He watches for how the pins fall more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And he watches the pins fall, then he determines where he's going to go with that. It's usually, for him, it's usually a hand position move, a speed adjustment. The changing balls is the last thing Norm Duke thinks about. And I've never talked to him about that, just by observing, but I guarantee he'll tell me I'm right. I'll bet him a round of golf that I'm right right now, just by watching him.
Norm, definitely one of the most meticulous players on tour, and definitely has every trick in the bag, if you will, as far as how to manipulate ball roll and kind of make whatever ball do what it needs to do to find a way to strike.
He's one of the few bowlers, and me and Chris Alehrer talk about it. When we watch him bowl, we know why he's better than us. There's some bowlers out there that beat us, and we're like, we don't know why. Norm Duke, we know why. We watch it, just his mentality on the lanes and just how he goes about everything he does, and just the focus and the zone he's in. I've never been in that zone of focus in my life. It's at another level, and that's how we know he's better than us. And you never want to admit someone's better than you, but I'm 38. I know when I see it now. Now, if it's a younger guy, I'm not going to let him know. But Norm has earned that respect. He is just so good with everything he does.
I was able to witness his, he had a monster round at the U.S. Open last year, and that was just a marvel to watch. And still,
every year in that tournament.
Every year, finds a way.
At some point or the other, he turns it on. So, I need to make that show one day. I've made almost every U.S. Open match play for like the last 10 years. I think I might have missed one. And I have not made a show. Can you get me through that?
I'll be there in Wichita waiting to interview you at the end of it all. So.
Well, it probably didn't help this year that I still had a chance going in the last round. I shoot 240, and I started making a run. And then I shoot 112.
Those will get in the way from
I think
time
it was
to time.
112. Might have been 116. Yeah.
That'll slow you down a little bit.
A little bit. And then I had 240 the next game. I do remember it. And after that, I was mentally spent, and just it is what it is. It was my lowest game in PBA history for myself. It wasn't Tom Doherty.
I was just going to say, but you beat Tom, so that's the important part. So. All right, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here of game number 5. 10th frame underway on our girls pair. Morgan looking to clean up the 1-2-8. No problem there. She can get to 153. Sierra really making the statement this game. Can still get to 241 this game. She's going to be up in a moment on lane 29.
See, I have to assume, even though the pattern's 42-ish, I'm guessing 43. And I could be wrong with that. It could be 40. I think it's halfway light volume because even the girls are breaking it down pretty fast.
We will reveal all the patterns at the conclusion of junior gold, so you'll be able to take a look.
Now we are on this hooking service too, so I could be wrong, but it just seems like it's breaking down pretty fast even for the ladies.
All right, Sierra started this block in 10th place overall, so she 16th was 38.85. She was 39.39, so she had about 50 pins to work with.
The thing she's doing that I really, really like, and it's very smart play, is she's using urethane, it looks like, and she's staying right in the dirt. And she's kind of spinning it to the front. She's hitting the 1-3 a lot. And a lot of the girls are using reactive, and they're forcing themselves left. And most of the time they force themselves left, they can't get it back through the pocket. They can't even get the ball back to the head pin. And she's doing the right thing. Oh, she dropped this one, but still got it. Ooh.
Oh.
Fell off. Her
Gotta
arm
finish
swing
with
is so
219.
straight, it tried to stay on line.
Mm-hmm.
Still 219. I mean, either way you want to look at it.
Especially with kind of the scoring pace that we've seen here the past few games, that it's been a little bit lower, so presumably the numbers dropping a little bit. So 219. Anyway, working towards plus is going to be beneficial in the long run.
I do have to comment on Connor's outfit. It's classy. It's a classy jersey, classic black pants, belt. I like his outfit. He didn't go into the crazy colors. He's just kind of traditional.
Traditional. That's a good word for it. I
Looks
like
good.
it.
It looks really good and sharp.
All right, and that's going to do it for our featured pairs here. All right, that's going to do it for our final advances round here in the U15 boys and girls divisions at the 2018 Junior Gold Championships here at Forum Bowling Lanes in Grand Prairie, Texas. We still have a few pairs going on, so we're going to go ahead and shut down the broadcast and prepare for match play, which is going to be taking place in about 3 hours, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 local time here in Grand Prairie. That's where we're at. I want to thank Ronnie Russell, our representative here this week, joining us here on Bowl TV from Forum Lanes, part of the Ebonite family, the presenting sponsor. And just thanks again to you guys for everything you've done for the kids this week, starting all the way back on Sunday with the opening ceremonies, even going back further than that. Demo day, registration, trade show, opening ceremonies. You guys are on site doing cool things. You guys are talking to the players. It's just been so cool to see the interaction, seeing the smiling faces. So big thanks to you guys for everything you've done.
Yeah, it's been great, and being a staffer at Ebonite International, just want to give everybody there thanks for letting me be a part of all this. I look really forward to match play tonight, top 16. The talent out here is great, and I just really look forward to it. I'm excited for tonight.
All right, and we'll be back online here on Bowl TV once again about 3 hours from now. We potentially still have a few other broadcasts going. Of course, the U12s are going to finish up a little bit later today, so Matt Cannizzaro and Jason Couch may still be on Bowl TV at the moment. But for right now, we're going to sign off here. Be sure to check bowl.com/juniorgold for results. As soon as we get them, we'll know our top 16 advancing. So for Ronnie Russell, I'm Aaron Smith. We're going to be back in a few hours here on Bowl TV. We hope to see you then. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.